Prabhupada ki jai,
ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Grantara Srimad-bhagavatam ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Ananta Koti Vaishnava Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Reading from Srimad-bhagavatam, 7th canto, chapter 15, Instructions for Civilized Human Beings. Text number 17. Rupa Peshala Madhurya Sukanya Priya Darsana Srinam Priyatamo Nityam Mata Svapuralampata Rupa Peshala Madhurya Sukanya Priya Darsana Sriyam Priyatamo Nityam Mata Svapuralampata Rupa beauty. Peshala formation of the body. Madhurya attractiveness. Sugandhya very fragrant. Being decorated with various flower garlands and sandalwood powder. Priyadarshana, very beautiful to see. Strinam, of the women. Priyatama, naturally attractive. Nityam, daily. Mata, proud like a madman. Swapura, in his own city. Lampata, very much attached to women. Because of lusty desire. Translation. I had a beautiful face and a pleasing, attractive bodily structure, decorated with flower garlands and sandalwood powder. I was most pleasing to the women of my city. Thus I was bewildered, always feeling lusty desire. From the description of the beauty of Narada Muni when he was one of the denizens of Gandharva Loka, it appears that everyone on that planet is extremely beautiful and pleasing, and always decorated with flowers and sandalwood. Upavarana was Narada Muni's name previously. Upavarana was specifically expert in decorating himself to attract the attention of women, and thus he became a playboy, as described in the next verse. To be a playboy in this life is unfortunate because too much attraction to women will lead one to fall into the association of Sudras who can easily take advantage of mingling with women without restriction. In this present age of Kali, when people are manda sumanda matya very bad because of Sudra mentality, such free mingling is prominent. Among the higher classes, Brahmana, Kshatriya and Vaishya, there's no chance for men to mingle with women freely. But in the Sudra community, such mingling is open, because there's no cultural education in this age of Kali. Everyone is spiritually untrained, and everyone is there to be considered Sudra. Asudra Sudra Kalpi Brahmana Kali Sambhava. When all the people become Sudras, certainly they're very bad, Mandasumandamatya. Thus they manufacture their own way of life, with the result that they gradually become unfortunate, Mandavakya. And furthermore, their always disturbed by various circumstances. Om Jnanatimanandasya Gyanandana Salakaya Chakshurunitamya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Narayana Namaskritya Naramchayam Narotama Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tatodayam Mudiraye Nastapresu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistike. So, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. We're always approaching the Bhagavatam in a mood of service, in a mood of humility, and bowing down to the Srimad-bhagavatam, which is the incarnation, Purana Kudinoditaha, the Supreme Personality of God. Here we see a mundane situation described, the mundane exchanges between men and women. And here we see how that exists also in higher regions in the universe, on Gandharva Loka. Gandharva Loka is below the heavenly planets, but above our planet. And we see that there also, and there may be even more than here, because the facility is better. The tendency towards enjoying the body is very, very strong. So the tendency for sex life is always there. What can be said? We are now Vaishnavas. We have now come Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. Therefore, when we read such descriptions about man and woman, they only apply the dynamics that exist between men and women, where sexuality is present in so many ways. That is only relevant to the point that we have not fully surrendered to the Vaishnava way of life. It is said, Sravanam Keli Preksanam Smaranam, hearing about illicit sex. Keli, playing, joking, somehow or other, subtle remarks about sex. Looking, Preksanam. Guyamasanam, sitting together in a secluded place. And then, I forgot the next word. But ultimately it comes to physically embracing. All these constitute the 8 types of illicit sexual activities. So, to even flirting is sort of part of that. Put it in a more modern word. So it's interesting. So Narada Muni is basically describing how that's what happened to him. He became caught up in these kind of more subtle exchanges, and then that leads ultimately to the act of expressing love. And that's all nice, right? We are not against love. No. But then it shouldn't become a distraction.
it shouldn't take us away. It shouldn't. In the material world, that's the biggest thing, and that's why there are songs. That's why love is everything. And all these things. All I can say now, when I was 24, I looked at these things in one way, and now when I'm 64, I'm looking at these things in another way. Now I'm looking at it from, yeah, it's okay, yeah, it's nice, but maybe not do it again. Maybe I had enough. I think so. It's complicated. Two different people pulling in different ways. It's complicated. They have different ideas. Who's going to bow down? Is anyone at all ready to bow down at this age? It's hard to bow down. Very hard. Still, it's not that we are a movement of brahmacharis and brahmacharis, and we are not meant to be. If that's not what we're preaching. I was traveling in Rajasthan, and there was a place called Rara. I thought, this is the place of the brahmacharis. The Rara brahmacharis means the ones who are very fanatic, very serious about being brahmacharis. It's not so important to be a brahmachari. It's actually a very small thing. It's not going to really give you love of God. Vairagya is not going to bring you any closer to Krishna. The only thing it's going to do, it's going to give you a little more time, which you can use and keep your life a little more simple. And you can, from there, cultivate Krishna consciousness. But all in the Pajavali, Rupa Goswami's verse book, there's a verse, and he points out a whole list of things, and then it comes to, and not by wearing saffron can one overcome lusty desires. It is not possible. One can go for different shades of orange, with matching socks, with all the proper attributes, even an orange sleeping bag. One can have, but all that will ultimately not help us to overcome lusty desires. That is very difficult. So therefore, the Grihastha ashram is an ashram where we can engage in sexual activity, but kamasmi bharatarasava. Sexual activity according to religious principles. Such sexual activity is authorized. Of course, it still creates attachment to the body. We should understand, we still become engrossed in identifying with the body, which is a problem, because that awakens desires to enjoy that body again. And then, karmana daivane trena yantur deo prapadyate, then we may get a new yantur in the next life. You see, that's the issue. So it's not who's on whose case, you know. Safransky, you know. Safransky is better. I've got more stripes than you. But that competition in this world is also driven by sex life. That is also a part of subtle sex life, where one is competing with the other to be the best. That is also the desire. I want to be adored. I want to be the greatest, like Prabhupada. Same thing. So it is deeply part of us, Punapuras, Charivida, Charivanam, for many, many lifetimes. So we are not here condemning. We are not here speaking about shame and shame upon those who are so fallen. No, that's not the spirit. What the spirit is that we are fallen. We are away from the spiritual world. We are away from loving Krishna. We are away from that mood of the gopis who only think of Krishna all the time in great love. We don't. We're not there. For us, Krishna consciousness is something we have some faith in, something we practice. It's a struggle sometimes, and at times we step a little bit over the lines of Dharma just to get a little bit more, well, naturalness. And others are like then pointing the finger from how can you do such a thing? But they don't say that deep down in their heart they have hidden desires to do the same thing. They point at others, shame, oh shame, how can you be so fallen? But deep down in their heart they have desires to be so fallen themselves. What to do? This is the way we are. So, therefore, we take shelter. Therefore, we must be in the Grihastha ashram, or in the Brahmachari ashram, or Vanaprastha ashram, or in the sannyasa ashram. Like I've had some disciples. Well, one disciple, he was having a flat, a small one, just a one-room studio with a bathroom and kitchenette inside. And in the room there was a sofa, and which could turn into a bed. And there were chairs, and every chair had stuff in it. It was something like my room looks like. Every chair was full with things, with clothes and books and stuff. And when you come in, you had to sort of dig through all the stuff and, to get a place to sit down. This is called a bachelor's flat. So I was in his bachelor's flat, and I just told him one day, I said, look, choose an ashram. Right? Why don't you choose an ashram? He said, either, be a brahmachari, and then what do you need this flat for? Get rid of it, right? Or, get a better flat. and keep the chairs clear, and invite someone to come and sit there. Get married, but make a choice. Because bachelor is not an ashram. Bachelor doesn't offer shelter. It's not taking shelter of the process of becoming purified. Whereas these ashrams, they are. So we take these ashrams in a spirit like that. In a spirit of, I'm dedicating myself to this. And within it, I'm following a certain etiquette and a certain standard. It's very different from the old type of relationships of shall we get together? Well, why not? Giggle, giggle, giggle. And then, move in the same apartment and this and that, and then, well, let's see what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen. I mean, it's always the same thing that happens, you know. There's a big bed, and both want to be the enjoyer. So it becomes a competition between who is the center of the attention, who is the enjoyer and who is the enjoyed, who is the servant and who is the master or mistress. And these dynamics leads to so much tension, big fights. I mean, marriages make Kurukshetra, make the Mahabharata look tame. You read about all these heroes excelling their masters, and then, you get married, and my God, the things that go on in marriages, it's inconceivable. Inconceivable. We couldn't think of it. You have to go through it. Anyway, serious fights I have witnessed also. I've experienced personally. Revenge. Anyway, I'm not allowed to disclose these things due to my former life. Like that, I know. And that's fair enough, because there is a code of honor also, even in regards to a former ashram, of confidentiality, of trust. So yes, there's a positive side where two people are supporting each other, have a certain confidentiality amongst each other, and all these things exist within marriage. So marriage is fine, but we are not Varna ashram first. Naham vipra na chalara patir na pivaishi na sudra, naham vani na chagriya patir no fanasti yatirva, kintu proja na kila paramananda, punamri tapter gopi partapani kamani das. We are not anything of the four varnas or the four ashrams. Not sannyasis, not grihastas, not brahmanas. We are not these things. We are not brahmanas, kshatriyas, vaishyas, sudras. We are not these things. We are Vaishnava. That's it. We are Vaishnava, Vaishnavi. That is it. And that is our meditation. And then we are in an ashram. And we make something of the ashram, but Vaishnava first. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Then the problems come in. If Vaishnava is put first, even when problems arise, we'll overcome them. We'll overcome them. So this is really how it is. And Vaishnava means I am the servant of the Vaishnavas. I'm not a Vaishnava, I am the servant of the Vaishnavas. I wish I was a Vaishnava, if only I was. So many nice Vaishnavas, I'm not really a Vaishnava, but I'm the servant of the Vaishnavas. In that way, I hope to become a Vaishnava. In this way, we take shelter. And in this way, the ashrams start working. First we had to take shelter of an ashram, and then we have to remember that actually it is only external, and internally we are Vaishnava, servant of the Vaishnavas. Then everything starts to fall into place. And then it becomes possible, the ideal. Then we can do it, and then no more yam today, no more embodiment in some yantur, in some machine. It is something, I don't know about your machine, but mine has many loose screws. And also a leaking tap. It's too much, really. The amount of tissues that I've used in my life, my God, it must be bigger than Govardhan Hill. What to do? My machine has a leaking tap. I don't know about yours, but some have, anyway, they are machines and they have their problems. Right? Yesterday, one of us had some problems with his machine, with the ventilation system. The internal air ducts were not functioning properly, and as a result, the person needed some fresh air. So we stopped the bus, and the air was fresh enough because it's ridiculous for April this year in the night at the moment. Anyway, so the material bodies, they get caught in the most crazy things you have to do to sort of keep the body going. And over the years, more and more. There's lots of eggs in my room, and there's like a couple, it's just pills and powders and liquids and medicines. And it's just like looking at it all. Am I really going to take all of this? So, let us not waste our time. That is what Narada Muni is saying to all of us. And the women, this is one of those verses where it sort of looks like the women are on the lusty side and the men are not on the lusty side. But that's not actually what's going on. We see that many lusty men. And we see that, there's a cartoon which I have, and there's a man and a woman, they meet and they have a thought cloud above their head. And he has some flowers in his hands for her, and he's reaching out, gives her the flowers. And the thought bubbles, they are overlapping a little bit. Right? And where they overlap, it says sex. So they're both thinking of sex. But then, for the rest, his bubble is empty. There's nothing there. there's only this one thought, sex. But it's overlapping, and she's also thinking sex. So, okay, that part's overlapping. And then the rest of her bubble says family, children, grandchildren, home, and so many things. Those more, but all those things. And it's really interesting, because she's thinking of all these things. This man is thinking, there's nothing. His bubble is empty. So, it's a good cartoon, I think so. It sums it up. And that's what's going on. And then when the men find out what is in the bubble of the ladies, they run. So there's great fear, there's great overwhelming fear, and they all want to run. And, I had it during the marriage ceremony, when I was getting married, the Vedic one, the lady walks around you 7 times, and I was convinced it was witchcraft. I was sitting there thinking, they're doing something now, Get out. I wanted to. I had to hold myself back from my just say. We are all conditioned souls. They are just in these bodies, and they dictate all these things. It has nothing to do with our soul, but meanwhile, it's very much part of our reality, and we have to deal with this, and that's good. So instead of condemning, and instead of one being holier than thou, this is Maya, How can you be so degraded? Come on, you're also so degraded. Everyone is degraded. That's not the point. But the point is to be intelligent. somehow or other we have to be intelligent and stay and keep ourselves safe on the spiritual path. So now that you are all getting ready to go, I'm going to have a great rest. And I'm looking forward. No, but now that you're all getting ready to go, I wish you a safe journey. Yes, a materially a safe journey, but I also wish you a safe spiritual journey, where somehow or other you be intelligent enough to stay between the white lines, to not go too fast, to not just go too spontaneous, but to be a little thoughtful. Now I am wishing you a safe spiritual journey, and so that nothing may go wrong, and that we will reach the supreme destination. I am not going to begrudge anyone. Begrudging means that I'm not going to sit here and be miserly and say, spiritual life, there are many restrictions. I wanted to tell you that in spiritual life there are many restrictions. And yes, it is a path for saving people. I'm not going to emphasize it in this way. I'm simply going to say, let us use our brains. Let us somehow or other stay safe on the spiritual path. Keep ourselves safe. That doesn't come automatically from nobody. It really means that intelligence means that sometimes you have to push on the brake, or that sometimes you have to push the accelerator, depending. Some people are going too fast, some are going too slow. Intelligence, that we do the needful to stay devotees and to stay within the boundaries of Krishna consciousness, so that we go back to Godhead. And then, I don't care what ashram. Of course, I want a few sannyasis for preaching. That also I want. Yeah. I do. But for the rest, I want simply that you all go back to Godhead. And that's what I want. And take people with you while you go. Don't just think of going alone. Take people with you. You can be young, but still, whole life ahead of you. So many things to do. Good. Do it. But don't let it interfere with going back to Godhead. That's my point. You know, when a man wants a woman, when a woman wants a man, then no problem. Have one. But don't start with 2 or 3 or 4. Better one. And stick it out. Just stick it out. No need to change. Anyway, if that happens anyway, then inshallah, you know. What can we do? What can we do? That's also there. But the essence is in the Bhagavatam, in the 11th canto, that we should keep ourselves safe on the spiritual path. And that is my good wishes to you. Have a safe journey. Have a safe journey, as they say in Spanish, vaya con Dios. Go with the Supreme Lord. So before you go, vaya con Dios. And yeah, I don't know when I will see everyone, because this summer I'm not gonna run all over the place, here and there and everywhere, and try to catch every Radhadesh and every festival and so on. I think after this one, I'm going to have no festivals for a while. Somehow or other I feel like that. Don't know why. I just done the Durban Rath Yatra for 4 days, and now I've done this, and now I feel, let's forget about Harinam Ruchi. No, I'm not going to Birmingham. No, I'm not coming to Serbia. No, I'm not going to Shravanam Kirtanam in Italy. No. And I'm not staying for the Radhadesh Summer Festival. No. But you're doing something, Maharaj. We saw it on the internet. That's true, because it gets too boring otherwise. But maybe I'll go to Berlin Rath Yatra, because that's London Maharaj is pushing me to go. What to do. Yeah, so I may rock up by surprise sometimes, but I'll take it a little bit easy this summer. Doesn't mean I don't care. I do care. I do care. I am still hoping that everyone will do fine, and I care. But yeah, what to do? Everyone needs a break sometimes. My turn. So, in that way, I'm now kind of ending this class and saying goodbye to you all. And I'll post my schedule on the website, so like I used to, so you can see where I'll be when, and you can try and catch me soon. Maybe it's your turn to travel. One year on this Vyasa Puja Festival, Vishwambar had some computer program. He decided, had some funny idea, that he was going to show in the program my travels. And this little plane was going over a world map and was going from one place to another. And when I saw it, I thought, my God, this is insane. I'm sure that everyone else also thought like that. So this year I'm going to try and be a little more sane. I am crazy, but I try and connect the craziness with Krishna. That's all I can do. I don't think I can ever become normal. And I am afraid that many of you are the same. But somehow or other, let us engage it. And let's engage in Krishna consciousness. Let that craziness not take us away from Krishna. That is that's my approach. So if anyone has a question, comment, please.
We see in the verse the description of this freely mingling between men and women as love, like that. I'm thinking about we didn't have so much chance because society brought us like that, and our desires also from past life and like that. I'm thinking about our children, because the society and school also force them to, and then even if you put them in Hare Krishna schools or Gurukule, some of them they are even wilder. So what is missed here, or what shall be done?
He is speaking about free mixing of men and women, and we didn't grow up in the way maybe it should have been, and now he's thinking of his children, and he's thinking even if you put the children in the Krishna schools, it's not always ideas, and sometimes even wilder than in the world. And what should we do? Yeah, you have children, and you're very idealistic. You have this dream that you want to give them the very best, and then after a while, you realize that you can't. You can't. And they may be your children, but their lives are not under your control. You know, they are in this material world with their own karma, and they're also part of the greater society. And there's nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. Like for example, in Norway, if your kid behaves bad, and if you give a slap to that kid, the kid can turn you into the police or the neighbors or anyone, and you get arrested. You get put in jail. Imagine. In some countries it's different, isn't it? So, you know, no, I say it's like my mother, she used to have a table tennis bat. Well, it's like, my father was always gone, he was traveling, and I was always kicking my little brother under the table. And she knew it, so there you go. I survived it, you know. It's okay. I don't think, I never needed this psychologist. I still like table tennis. It's okay. So it's all right. There's nothing wrong with giving a loving slap, you know. Of course, it's like, you know. That's maybe not so effective. But after a while, you realize you can't give your children an ideal education. And you're not even sure, you know, if your little Chintamani, who was like straight from the heavenly planets, and who was like, you know, even when she was 1 year old, no, she would chant Hare Krishna, and all this. She had her own deities, you know, did such a thing. But you can't even be sure if little Chintamani is going to be a devotee when she's 21. Daddy, I'm sorry. He doesn't have a Chintamani, by the way. It's just a fictive name. But that's how it is. I've seen fathers sitting there saying, my little Chintamani. She came to Delhi and said, Daddy, I'm not going to be a Hare Krishna, but I need support for my studies. Yeah. And Daddy forked it up. I know devotee fathers who would faithfully, every day, drive their non-devotee children to the school and pick them up as well. Yeah, there's a lot of purification. I wish you well. And maybe in this way, some man will say, I'll take sannyas. And then they have to preach. Now, so that's how it is. All you can do is give blessings. Try to bless your children as much as you can. You can't change their lives so much, a little, but give them as many blessings as you can. That's what you do as a parent. It's also what you do as a spiritual master. I got many disciples and I have no grip on their life. I can't control their life. I can only give blessings. And I try. And for the rest, good luck. Ocean of knowledge.
And sometimes we see, like in the Battle of Kurukshetra, where so many generals are wounded. They have to retire from the battlefield because of their wounds to recover. So don't feel guilty that you have to retire to recover from the wounds, you know, because the army doesn't require you to retire. It might sound even more enthusiastic because it's seen that the general is being front line, you know, and so I'm sure we'll all take up the flag and enthusiastically fight on.
He's my friend, you know, he always tries to take me to, he's wishing me well and saying it's okay in the Battle of Kurukshetra, and so many generals were getting injured and so on. Sometimes they need to take some time to recover. So he always tries to do that with me these days. He takes me to steam rooms and to hot springs and all kinds of things in Australia where I have to sit and bubble in hot water. That's good, I guess. Get cooked. Yeah, thanks for that.
We'll take on the belt.
Yeah, it's nice. Thank you all for your good care and friendship. If there's nobody else, okay, lost.
Sorry, it's not really connected. What is the woman, is obstacle of advancement of a husband?
A woman that is an obstacle to advancement of the husband is also an obstacle to her own advancement. She's just materialistic. A woman that is pulling him away from Krishna consciousness and herself as well. You know, when you're a woman, especially a beautiful woman, I'm saying, if you are,
I know I'm not, so it's okay.
you are not 20 now. I'm sure you had your days, you know. But and everyone's beautiful when they smile. And beautiful, so you know, you can still do it. Don't worry. The point that I'm making is that in the Bhagavatam it is described that the female have that power to attract. They are the reflection of Srimati Radharani, who can even attract Krishna, who's the attractor of Cupid. Right? So, when a woman raises an eyebrow, it's different than a man. I'm not going to do it, but if I pull up my dhoti, all you would see is a hairy leg. But if a lady would do so, the whole room would be like, at least half the room. When Putana came into the village, that day, Nanda Maharaj and all the cowherd men were gone. There were only old men in the village and women. But when Putana walked into the village, all those old men, they were like... So that's the way it is. So it's not only that some women, they know that they have that power. You know. And there's this thing, I love to be loved. You know? And to use that power. When girls get 13, they're going to try it out. And that's normal. They try it out, and it works. And they enjoy it. And some get addicted to it. To using that power to drive men mad. And that... all these things. Oh yes. And all that they will do. And yes, it works. The men get all bewildered. But it's not only that the men are falling prey to all that beauty, it's the women also have fallen prey to dynamics, and we're a little careful with that. Doesn't mean you can never dress up. Right? And I was really happy about all the ribbons and everything in the Kadamba Swami style stuff yesterday, because it added so much to the festival, some elegance. It was very beautiful. So that was good. But we should be a little careful not to exploit the beauty also. And that's tough. That's hard. And sometimes it gets the better of you. And then, where's the money? Anyway, so yeah, that even enters into the Vaishnava community also. And then that's all those dynamics. But many dynamics. The macho dynamics, you know what I mean? Shut up, woman, stay in your place. Bulldog, you know. Because not every man gets a wife because they need someone to love. Someone get a wife because they need a doormat. They need someone to let out all their frustration. So they marry, and then you've got your perfect target, you know. And it's like, bang, wow. And that's also called marriage. So watch out. Therefore, before you enter into a relationship, take some advice of an elderly, experienced person to tell you if this one's okay or not. And even then, it can still go wrong. And it does. So, good luck to everyone. Wish you a happy journey, safe journey. May you go to the spiritual world at the end of this life. I thank you all for coming here in Radhadesh. We'll hope to see you all after some time. And via con Dios.
Kadamba Kanana Swami.
Because I come here on Monday, and Monday morning, do you have that class on some drive or something?
You take that wall away.